Pessoa se fazem ficar. Fiquei surpreso.
Se a gente pudesse.
Logo, a seguir ao evento, vamos jantar. Vais jantar connosco?
Vamos.
Se eu já estiver falando,
Eu fui em Amsterdã, fui em Utrecht, que é 1 hora de Amsterdã mais ou menos.
também na Holanda.
Também na Holanda. E aí agora estou aqui, amanhã vou para... Pronto. Beleza, mais alto um pouquinho, né? A gente faz assim, ó. Oi? Obrigado. Pronto. E aí, sorria. Já está ao vivo. Já estamos ao vivo. Estamos ao vivo. Agora só precisa passar o link pessoal, né? Ah, bem. Melhor passar o link antes de colocar ele ali, né? Ok. Vamos passar o link, pessoal. Vamos ver aqui. Opa, a caneta é importante, viu? É.
Quantas cores?
Uma só tá bom. Mas a caneta é importante porque eu vou usar bastante.
Quanto tempo é que vais precisar?
Quanto tempo você me der?
Nós temos até às 9. Não sei se precisas de mais.
Se me der 3 horas, eu falo 3 horas. Se me der um dia, eu falo um dia.
Não,
Se me der 10 minutos, eu falo 10 minutos.
1 hora e meia.
Você que sabe.
Não tens a apresentação ou vai
Não,
ser...
vamos conversar com o pessoal aqui, né?
Então vamos apontar até às 9.
Tá bom, perfeito.
Porque senão depois também é difícil para jantar.
Tá bom, perfeito. Vamos lá.
Show and to work.
Show and to work. Se esta não der da semana passada ou de ontem, isto muda a segunda.
Pronto. Ok. Isso, escrevendo bastante aqui porque... O que é isso?
É password antiga, porque ela muda a segunda e eu não sei se é esta, se é esta.
É de cima.
Mas eu creio que é de cima. É de
Tudo bem?
cima?
Tudo bem, nós estamos transmitindo online, gravando, não tem problema, né?
O S.
Tá, fala oi, pessoal.
Boa
Estamos
tarde.
transmitindo online para o mundo inteiro, essa é a senha, não vou colocar aqui. Essa é para o mundo inteiro, né?
O que é maiúsculo?
Tudo bem que eu apago.
O S é maiúsculo. Sim, é maiúsculo.
Tudo bem que eu apago isso aqui também, né?
Então esta aqui não interessa.
Sim, depois pode-se apagar.
Ok.
Então, beleza. Vou colocar esse laptop aqui. Tá bom. Ok, vamos
começar.
Vamos começar.
Pronto. Muito obrigado por terem vindo. Eu acho que ainda vai aparecer mais gente, porque ainda é cedo. Está ali um rapaz que quer que a gente fale inglês. So let's switch to English.
Okay, that's okay.
This guy do not speak Portuguese.
That's good. Everyone can do English fine? Yes.
You know that he's working in Portugal for like 10 years, but he still don't speak Portuguese.
Okay, that's yeah. I know.
Not 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. I know a story. Isn't that story that the guy went to live 10 years in Portugal, never learned Portuguese, and then he forgot his own language and then became mute? I heard that.
You know that people that try to learn Portuguese, they say that the Portuguese from Brazil is easier to learn than the Portuguese from Portugal.
Okay, all right.
Because it's more, it's not so monotone like ours.
You know, I think it is because I learned it when I was very little. So it must be very easy.
So let's start again. We apologize for starting a bit later than we should, but again, we are in Portugal. It's a normal thing. People must be arriving. I think there are some people still missing, but we will start anyway. So thank you again for coming. This is Bruno Souza. Does anyone don't know this guy?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, so he is. I think you can introduce yourself a bit, but just what I know from these guys is that he is the leader of Java, the biggest Java community in the world, from what I know.
Yes.
Still true?
Yes.
Like maybe you and the London one. The London one is very big as well.
London is very important. Yes.
Yeah. So he works in Brazil, but he is traveling all around the world always. If you go to a big Java conference, usually you have Bruno Souza there, right?
Yes.
You work very closely, at least in the past, with Oracle as well. In the events you organized the Java one in Brazil as well, right?
Right. I should work very closely. Yes.
Yeah. So that's some of the things I know about him. Everyone that has been with Bruno, which is not my case, says he has a very motivational speech. So let's see.
Okay, let's see.
So
let's put it to the test.
Let's have a very welcome to Bruno, and thank you again for coming to PT JUG.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. But you know, one of the important things. Samuel here is kind of introducing me as an important person and everything, but in fact, he is the important person, right? The thing is, when you have a user group like this, when you have, when you meet together, that's how these things here can happen, right? I was actually coming here to an event in Amsterdam, right? Actually in Utrecht, like a city 1 hour from Amsterdam. And I sent an email, Samuel said, can you come here to Portugal? And I said, yes, right? So when you create a community, when you create a local community like this, what happens is that, you have much better access to things that are not available if a community doesn't exist, right? So participating communities give you lots of, we're going to talk about this in a minute, what the benefits of participating communities are. But one of the biggest benefits is that it gives you access to private information that you would not have otherwise, right? So Samuel here is the guy representing all of you in the worldwide Java Groups community. So he has access to information, to speakers, to Oracle. He said, I have special access to Oracle, but because of the community, he has special access to Oracle too. And because he represents all of you there, what happens is, he can bring all of this information to you, right? So thank you, all of you. Thank you for being here, for organizing this, for supporting Samuel and his work, right? And so a big hand of applause for you and Samuel included. Thank you so much. That's it. And we announced right before this year, when he said, yes, we can have internet, right? We sent an email to everyone saying there's going to have a meeting in Portuguese. So, and then we broadcast to a lot of people saying there's going to be a meeting in Portuguese. Now we're rebroadcasting saying, okay, we switch it to English now, right? So, but there's already people online. There's 4 people already online, okay? See, you know, all it takes is a little bit of internet and we can change the world. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you for being here. You know, I hope that's so you're expecting a very motivational presentation. I'm gonna bring this board here because I have no slides. So I'm gonna bring this board here so you all can see. Have everyone got the password already? Okay. If you have not, you have 2 minutes to get the password before I erase. Okay. And so if you're watching us online and you have any questions, you can type the questions on the chat, and we're gonna try to answer everyone's question, right? So, you know, the whole idea here is that we're going to discuss a little bit about, you know, the developer career, right? And although that's, you know, the topics about the developer career, I can discuss any topics that you guys want to discuss about Java, right? As someone else said, I do work very closely with Oracle for many years. Actually, I worked very close with Sun before that. I worked so close with Sun in the past that they hired me. So, I never worked for Oracle, but I worked with them. And I'm also on the board of the Java Community Process, the JCP. That's, if you don't know what the JCP is, the organization that defines the Java standards, right? So, in Brazil, we say xará. Isn't that how you say here too? Someone that has the same name as you? No? All right. In Brazil, we say xará, someone that has the same name as you. So we have my xará here, someone that has the same name as me, right? Actually, his Bruno name is actually his last name, right? You know, I never thought that Bruno could be a last name, but so Rodrigo right here, he's working with the OpenJDK project and you know, working to improve the Java VM. And one of the reasons why he can do that, right, is because Java has been open source many years ago. And you know, the guy that actually started this whole the worldwide movement, asking Sun to open source Java, was yours truly, right? So, you know, I've been helping out the Java community to grow and to make it easy for all of us to participate, right? So that's why I work with the JCP. That's why I work with OpenJDK.
I want to add something in that regard. Is that right now you can join GCP as an individual,
right?
Something that you could not in the past. So if any of you want to contribute to new specs and everything, you can join. You just have to fill a form. You don't need to pay anything. You can join as a member.
Right. Yeah. So the JCP, there's a lot of things you can do to participate on the evolution of Java. The JCP is a great place to be. At the board of the JCP, one of the things that we did was to actually try to make it easier for everyone to participate. So one of the last changes that I helped out make was to get the JCP to not only make it very easy for individuals to participate. It was possible before, but it's a lot easier now. But also, we actually created a possibility for voting. Right, so now you can just join the JCP. It takes 5 minutes, actually, literally 5 minutes for you to join the JCP, and you can vote on the evolution of the Java platform. Right, so I do suggest that you take those 5 minutes. There's actually a video with Juggy, the Java Finch. I'm going to introduce Juggy in a minute. He's right here with me. But there's a video of Juggy, the Java Finch, that actually walks you through the whole process. So he actually joins the JCP live online. And the whole video is 5 minutes, right? So, you know, you can just follow him and do this yourself. So, one of the things that we're going to discuss here today is, okay, some people are writing here, and I'm sorry if you missed the password for the Wi-Fi. You should ask someone on the, near you, because I just raised that. So, one of the things that I'd like to invite all of you guys. If you're going to talk about career, I do have a project called Code for Life, code4.life. That's a URL, okay? So if you want, you can join Code for Life right now. It will immediately gives you, so someone is writing down, don't write the URL down. You go to the URL, you type it down, and then you put your name and email there, because then you're gonna get my email, right? So the first thing I got in the end is like, well, if you didn't answer my question during this time, well, if you didn't answer my question, you go to Code for Life, you put your name and email, and you immediately get an email from me. So now you have my contact, and then you can send me questions over email. How about that? Good? But much better than getting my email. That's just one part of it. Right? Much better than getting my email. You're going to get a series of videos that I've interviewed some of the top Java developers in the world, and they tell you what they did to become one of the top Java developers in the world, right? So if you want to improve your career, that's a great place to start. Is you know, seeing what those guys did, and that will help you a lot, right? So basically, what I want to do here is that I want to. The idea is that here is a workshop, right? So there's two things that I need. There's one thing I need from you. I need that you get something that you can write with. Could be a phone, could be paper and pen, could be the laptop, right? You know, it's important that you write things down because we're gonna try to make some things work here, okay? And the other thing that I'm here to help you. Right? I'm here to actually try to solve your problems in terms of career, in terms of evolving your career. So I'm just going to start from a very, very brief introduction, and then we're going to go over your questions in what's going on in your life. Okay? So in terms of very, very brief introduction, there is I do a lot of one-on-one career discussions. So if you're feeling stuck in your career, if you want to grow your career, if you want to you know, start your international career, for example, something like this, I do one-on-one career discussions. I'm going to tell you how you can participate in this later. I take several times during the year. I take some time off, like a whole week that I kind of empty my agenda, and then I try to schedule those conversations and so I can help you. I'm going to talk about this more. But the important thing is doing those one-on-one discussions, right? I try to understand what's going on. What are your dreams, right? So what is the thing that you want to do? And then I help you eliminate the biggest challenge that prevents you from growing your career, and together we make a plan for you to explore your career. Make sense, right? So doing those conversations, what happens a lot is that I get what a lot of people are going through, right? Because I've talked with you know, hundreds of developers this past year. And so in general, I see the following patterns, right? First of all, there is, you know, I think there's two groups of people, basically, of developers, right? In general. Well, in Brazil, there's three. But the first group is people that don't know English, right? So it's not people that don't know Portuguese. It's people that don't know English, right? So English is very, very important. Right? It's, you know, if you don't know English, that's a big problem. And so, you know, you guys are here, you're all listening in English, so you're all fine. So you're not part of this group, okay? In Brazil, there's a lot of developers students in this group, unfortunately. We're trying to fix this. The second thing is developers that are just starting, right? So, you know, you're at university or, you know, you're just starting, you're not professional yet, you have 1 to 2 or maybe 3 years as a professional developer, right? Is there anyone here in this situation that's either on university, before university, or have up to 2 or maybe 3 years of as a professional? Okay, there's 1, 2, all right? There's 2 people. Okay, good. So that is the situation where we all started, right? So I'm not singling you out for any bad problem, right? That's just a situation that we all started. And when you are in this situation, it's very clear what you need to do. There's no questions, right? And the thing is, the biggest difference, so let me see, who here has, I know Rodrigo has many years of experience, right? So, okay, so how many years of experience do you have in programming? 10 years. All right, does anyone that has more than 10 years here? All right, several people more. Okay, I'll get you. Sorry, you're like me, right? So how many years of experience do you have?
32.
32 years of experience. Excellent. All right, so we have someone that has less than 3, and then we have this guy here that has 32, right? Okay. Good. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I said we're close, right? So, do you know what the biggest difference is between those guys that are just starting, right, and he that has 32 years of experience?
Age.
Age is a good thing, right? Age is a good thing, but you know, okay.
Liters of beer that we drank during the life.
Numbers of beers, okay, could be, right? But you know, the biggest difference between those two, right? It's really your brain. Okay, I don't know how to draw brain, but it's really in your brain, right? That's kind of obvious, right? But more specific, the biggest difference between someone that's just starting and an expert. What's your name? Sergio. And Sergio, that is an expert, right? Is more specifically is the quality of the mental representations that Sergio has as a developer and that you don't. Okay? So Sergio has an amazing mental representation of what is to be a developer, of the software development process, right? So he knows languages, he knows he has done projects, he knows problems, he knows, I know he had success and he had failures, right? So all of these helped him build a mental representation of what is to be a software developer. If we could download his mental representations and upload on you, you would be an expert software developer, right? But we can't do this. And you know, and more than that, even if you could upload those things to your brain, that's not enough because mental representations physically alter the brain. You know? Olá, tudo bom, meu? We meet friends, right? Okay, good. All right. So, you know, mental representations physically change the brain. You know, when Sergio was in school like me, we learned that the brain does not change, right? We didn't learn that. Oh, the brain doesn't change, the cells don't grow. Sorry, that's all loud. That's not true, right? Science knows that the brain actually changes physically depending on the things that you do, right? There's a lot of research that shows, you know, specialists have different brains than novices. And, you know, after they go through the training, their brains change it, right? And so that is the same thing. So he has a developer brain. You still have to build your developer brain. So how do you build mental representations, right? All of you guys here that have several years of experience, you already know because you did it. Even there's no one teaching you any of that, right? But you did it. You went and you did things, right? So if you are on this group of people that are what we call junior developers, right? If you are a junior developer, there's just one thing you need to do in the next 2 or 3 years while you're getting your career going, is develop software, right? It's not about studying a lot. It's not about learning a lot of things. Not about reading hundreds of books. It's not about going to thousands of events. All of those things could be very important, but the thing that changes and creates mental representation is practice. Okay? It's not studying. You can't study those things. You have to do, right? Let's make an example here. You all here are very, very good at keyboard, right? You have to be. You know, you're developers. You have to type very fast on the keyboard. So if I give you a book about becoming the world's greatest typist, right? What do you think this book's going to tell you? Read the book? No, right? It says go type. That's all that is. on a book to become the world's greatest typist, right? Go type. There's no way you can learn keyboards, to type on the keyboard without going type. That is what's important for you. The difference between a novice and an expert, it's not the knowledge, it's the skills. And the skills is the thing that you get when you do things. So when you go and you type on the keyboard, you get the skill of typing on the keyboard. Make sense? And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard, if you do several things many times, so for example, if I ask you to put your hand on the keyboard right now and ask you to type your name with your eyes closed, who thinks you're gonna come up with a perfect name on the screen? Right? Okay, that's good. If I ask you to type a full sentence of your favorite Java, of your favorite language, like a full sentence in Java, like a hello world, who thinks you can type a whole sentence and come perfect out of the thing? Right? Not everyone's not so sure, right? Okay, so those that can do this, what is the difference between those that are not so sure and those that I guarantee that I can do this, is that he has a better mental representation of the keyboard, right?
No. He has more confidence.
It could be, he has more coffee, right? But he has a better mental representation of the keyboard. You can test your mental representations by, you want to make an experiment right now, really quick, so you can test your mental representations. Just close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes. Yes, come on, close your eyes. Yeah, close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes. Don't worry. Close your eyes. Yeah, you too online. You can also close your eyes. So now imagine that you are in the front door of your house, right? Okay, so just imagine in the front door of your house. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to go into your house, and I want you to walk all the way to the place that you work in your house, where your computer is, or where the place that you know very, very well in your house. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. The place you know very, very well, like where you put your documents, or you put your computer, the place that you spend most time in your house. It could be, if you like to cook, it could be the kitchen. If you work at home, it could be your office, whatever. Just maybe your bedroom. Go to the place that you know best in your house, right? Now at that place, find either a drawer or a closet or something where we have lots of stuff inside, right? Something that you use very frequently. Maybe it could be a closet for all your documentations. Could be where you keep all your toys. It could be, it doesn't matter, a place where you use very often. Now, can you open the drawer? Can you open the cabinets and look inside, right? Maybe that's your backpack, right? I travel around the world with my backpack. I know exactly where everything inside my backpack is. Can you see everything that's inside right there, right? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so now let's do something else. Let's go to a place in your house that you're not familiar with, right? Maybe it could be your wife's closet, or something in the kitchen, or something in the bathroom that you never open, or maybe, the tools shed in the back that you never go. Doesn't matter. Just show a place that you don't ever use, that maybe your wife uses, or your husband uses, or maybe it's something that your kids use, right? Maybe the closet in your kid's bedroom, place that you don't know. Now open that place. Can you see what's inside? You can probably create something, right? But you can't see what's inside. You have no idea what's inside there, right? Okay, you can open your eyes now, thank you. All right? You see the difference between a mental representation when you know what the thing is and when you don't know, right? And that is the thing. The reason why you know all of these is not because you got a book and you read about your house. It's because you do those things every single day, right? It would be great if we could download those mental representations in our minds, but we can't. The only way for you to achieve mental representations is that you do things in the right way, and then you build those mental representations, right? So this is the thing that you guys need to do right now. You need to work on this. There's 5 things, as a developer, there's 5 things you need to do every day to become great developers, right? That will help you build your mental representation. 5 things. Okay. So Number one, read code. Read code is an amazing skill, and a lot of developers don't use it. A lot of developers never read code they didn't write. They only read their own code. You have to be able to read code. You have to be able to read code that you did not write and try to understand. You have to be able to read code you don't understand and try to understand. You have to be able to read code in a language that you don't know and kind of get it, right? You have to be able to read specifications. Rodrigo right here is fixing a code in the garbage collector part of Java, right? That's a code he did not write. And it's not an easy code. It's a very complex code. But he was able to read it to understand where he could change to do the improvement instruction. Right? Reading code is an important skill, and you got to do this. You got to be good at reading code. How do you do this? Read code every day. You know, get your cell phone while you're on the subway, while you're you're waiting in line for the bank or something. Get a piece of code you don't understand and try to read it. Right? Make this a habit that you got to do every day. Make sense? Read code. Second thing you got to do when to have a developer brain, you got to write code. Right? You got to write code. Oh, that's easy, right? That's what we do every day. And no, you know, a lot of developers, they write the code they already know every day. Right? They get to work and they have to do the same forms that they do every day, and they just kind of go and write the same thing, and that's all fine. Right? They spend their whole life writing the same boilerplate code every day. That does not help. Mental representations are created every time you force your brain to do something it does not know. You know why? Because what happens? Let me tell you a little bit about the brain. Oh, by the way, the brain is an amazing thing. We as developers, we need to understand our brains, right? Because that's what we work with. So the brain is an amazing machine, and the brain, it already uses about 20% of all the energies in your body. Can you imagine if your brain was not worried about performance and worried about saving energy? You would probably just be laying down in the bed and just your brain working, right? Because if the brain wanted, if it was not energy efficient, it would just waste all your energy in your body. But your brain is very efficient on energy. So, to be very efficient, your brain does not like change. It hates change. You know, you do the same thing the same way all the time, because once you do so many times, your brain knows exactly what it needs to do so it can save energy. Every time you try to do something different, your brain says, no, don't do like this. Come on, do the way you used to do before, right? It tries to force you to not spend more energy. So you have to force it. You have to force it to do something different. And once you force it, eventually your brain says, okay, you really want me to do this, right? So I'm going to create new pathways in the brain to do what you want to do, and now you don't need to think about it anymore. And that's when a habit is created. That's when a memory, like a skill is created.
It's not you that is forcing the brain. It's the brain itself that is forcing the brain.
Yeah, it's more or less, right? You know, it is. You're right, but you're not right. You know, if you let the brain not force, that we need to learn how to force ourselves to do the hard things, right? So once the brain understands what you want, it will change itself to create a new pathway, and that thing's gonna go very fast. Have you ever heard about the expression muscle memory? Ever heard of that? Right? Oh, you know, I type in the keyboard very fast because I have muscle memory, right? Or the guy bats the ball really fast because he has muscle memory. Or, you know, the guy shoots the ball in the hoop. Or, you know, kicks the ball in the goal because he has muscle memory. He trained it so much that his muscles remember the kick, right? That's a lie. There's no such thing as muscle memory. Your muscles don't remember anything. What remembers things is your brain, right? So the same thing that we apply for muscle memory that you can type on the keyboard when you have your eyes closed, that's software development. It's the same thing. The muscle memory for software is when you know how to write things, right? When you practice a lot about things you don't know, and then you force your brain to know how to do those things. Which things are important in software development? Well, you know, you get things like, for example, think about you have to interact over a collection in Java, right? And when you have to interact over a collection, if you have to think about how do I interact over this collection? How does that work? You know, what are the 4 lines that I have to write here? If you have to think about, that means your brain is stuck trying to think about this, and he can't think about the problem. He can't think about, you know, the overall thing that you need to solve. So you gotta, those things need to be muscle memory for you. You need to do them over and over and over until it gets normal, and you just do it without thinking, right? That is writing code. It's doing, you know, it's being good and being automatic in some things. Make sense? Write code, read code, write code, deliver code. Read, write, and deliver code. Deliver code is the skill that you need to get your code in the hands of users. It's amazing how many developers think that once I finish my code and I commit to the repository, my job is done. You developers, you are, you know, your job is to solve others' problems using software, right? If you're not solving anyone's problems, you're not helping. Your job is not done. So if no one is using your code, you're not helping anyone, and you got to work on this. You got to be able to deliver code. That's why automation and, you know, and the whole software development pipeline and all those things are very important for you to understand. Make sense? And the university will teach you how to read code because we'll force you to read some code. It will more or less teach you how to write code because it's going to force you to write code you never thought about, because that's what university does. University is not very good in delivering code, right? So that's where you guys are going to have to look for something else, right? Because at university you don't usually have to have anyone using your software, right? So you got to work on this. Find opportunities to solve real problems, real people's problems. Make sense? Okay. Other 2 things. You got to solve problems. Solve problems is the quintessential software developer skill. That means your brain has to be ready to look for solutions on anything. That means when you're walking on the streets, you know, you're by yourself, walking on the street, going to university, look around, right? You know, see the guy waiting on the bus stop, raining, and he doesn't have an umbrella. Oh, that's a problem, right? See the stones in the floor, they're messed up, and someone cannot go through for a wheelchair. I don't know. Look around you, find problems, and try to solve them, even if it's just in your head. Even if you think, well, if I was the mayor of this city, I would do this thing to solve that particular problem. Try to solve problems. And then once you solve the problem, think about why are you wrong, right? Because it's very easy to say, well, you know, okay, I'm just going to put all the money in the city to fix all the stones in the floor. And then, no, why are you wrong when you try to fix that, right? get on the day-to-day habit of solving problems. Just by thinking about it, that's a good thing. And of course, if you can actually go and solve some of them, that would be good. All right, and last, 5 things: read code, write code, deliver code, solve problems, and share what you know. Share. That's usually not a skill that people think of too much when we're talking about software development. But software development is one of the most collaborative things in the industry. It's one of the most collaborative jobs in the industry. Maybe movie making is more, or at least as much collaborative as software development. So if you got into software development because you thought, oh, I'm not very good with people, so I'm going to go into software, sorry about that, guys. There's nothing, software development is all about people. You develop software with people, for people, managed by people, markets by people. So you have to be able to know how to interact with people all the time. So you need to be able to discuss an idea, to present an idea. You need to be able to negotiate. A lot of developers tell me, but my boss wants this thing done by tomorrow with no testing. How can I fix that? Well, negotiate.
No, educate your boss.
What?
Educate.
Negotiate, right? Educate your boss, right? There's all kinds of things you can do, but if you don't share what you know, you're not gonna learn how to do those things. You gotta share. Share what? Everything you know, right? Oh, but Bruno, I don't know enough to share anything. So I'm gonna prove you that you know enough. Who here thinks that, you're all Java developers here, right? So who here thinks that you know enough to teach something of Java to James Gosling, the guy that created Java? Okay, I'm like you. I don't think I know enough to, right? Now, who thinks you know enough to teach Java, about Java, to explain something about Java to someone just starting the first year of university? Right. Okay, even the guy that's just starting thinks he can. So, absolutely everyone is in this situation. We know enough to teach something to someone, and we don't know enough to teach something to someone else. Right? So the question is not what I can teach, because that is whatever you know. Right? That's what you can teach. The question is to who? Okay? So go find people that need your knowledge. There's lots of people out there. Anything you know, it's enough for it to help someone else. Question?
And it's not a question, it's a commentary. Mm-hmm. And by sharing, you also have an opportunity to learn yourself, because the other person also has some things to share.
It's more than that. Who here have ever heard of the technique called rubber duck debugging? Right. So if you haven't heard of it, the technique is very simple. You get a rubber duck, and it could be a bottle of water. You could call bottle of water debugging, right? The only problem is that the rubber duck has a face and the bottle of water doesn't. So you can just kind of come here and put a little face in the bottle of water, right? A big smile, a nose, right? Okay, so bottle of water debugging if you want to. I don't have a rubber duck to present this. So now that you have Mr. Bottle of Water, or Mr. Rubber Duck if you prefer, and you have a very nasty bug that you don't know how to solve, you can come to Mr. Bottle of Water and say, hey, Mr. Bottle of Water, let me teach you about the bug. That's what you do for Rubber Duck. You tell, you actually do this, you voice it, you speak, not in your head. You actually speak to the Mr. Bottle of Water, right? Or to the Rubber Duck. Hey, Rubber Duck.
But you need to drink first.
You don't need to drink. No, that's fine. So then you explain to him, look, let me tell you why this bug, I can't fix it. You know why? Because we are creatures of sharing. Funny, huh? When we are thinking, every time you're thinking, it's in your brain, right? there's all kinds of fears. There's all kinds of prejudice. There's all kinds of doubt that you have. There's all kinds of filtering that goes on inside your brain, right? That prevents you from thinking. But when you explain something to someone, even if that's a bottle of water, when you voice something up, then now you have to adjust your thoughts to explain something to someone. And when you do this, you think. You think, right? And you learn new things because you're explaining to someone else. So sharing is amazingly important for lots of reasons. But yes, you're totally right. When you share, it helps you learn. All right. So I like to go over those 5 topics here, even when most of the people are not junior developers, because there's a lot of information here that sometimes we forget as professionals.
But you are missing a very important one.
Which one?
Soft skills. Because if you may be an amazing developer, but if you don't have soft skills, if you don't communicate well with your team, you may be the best developer in the world, but the problem that comes from the miscommunication can be bigger than the things that you have to solve. So you may be a bigger problem for the team that you may have than the things you are trying to fix. Actually.
Right.
Soft skills is a measurable.
It's not soft skills. It's sharing.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things.
One very important one. One of these things that I include in soft skills is communication.
Yes.
For me, it's one of the biggest ones.
Yes, sharing. That's communication. You know, I totally agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I totally agree with you. That's why it's there, right? When sharing is communication, right? You gotta share. You gotta share what you know, and share by lots of different ways, because that's how you're gonna learn communication. You know, communication. It's about sharing.
It's not only sharing. Let's do a different use case. For instance, it's very important to learn what the client needs for you to be able to implement it.
Right.
So you know that there are a lot of developers that implement things really fast and really well, but they don't try to understand the client, and in the end, you have something implemented that don't correspond to the need that the client has.
I agree with you.
That's for me, it's not sharing. It's still on the soft skills, but it's different than sharing. So
it's not. You know why? Because, for you to share, what is the first thing you need to know when you go share? You can't share what you don't know what the other person needs. That's one of the big, that is like number one mistakes that speakers make. The number one mistake speakers make is that they think they can come here to a presentation in a user group or a big event, and they can just speak what they want. And no one is interested in what they want to speak. Right? No one cares. Let me tell you one thing that's going to hurt. I usually talk these other parts of the thing, but that's hurt. Samuel, no one cares about you, man. Right? And no one cares about you, 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 no one cares about you. People don't care about you. No, he doesn't. He doesn't care. Maybe your mom. Your mom might care about you. Right? No one cares about you, Samuel. People care about...
Just an exception. There's one person that cares about him.
His mom.
No, himself.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So the thing is, people don't care about what you have to say. People care about how you can help them achieve what they want. We're gonna come back to this later on. So the number one mistake that people do when they share is that they don't listen. You can't share if you don't listen, right? I totally agree with you. Communication. That's why, of course. Let me clarify this thing. Of course, all of those here are all umbrella things, right? All of those here are umbrella things, right? There's a lot of different skills that you need to read code, right? Different languages, specifications, they're all different skills. a lot of different skills to write code, right? Every language you learn is a different skill for writing code in a different language, right? There's all kinds of skills underneath here. We've mapped a few hundred specific skills under all these things, right? So yes, on sharing, there's a lot of communication, listening, and presenting. Sharing through a blog post is completely different than sharing through a GitHub account, for example, right? Those are different ways of sharing. Yes, but yes, I totally agree with you. Trying to reduce to 5, we put a lot of things under just one umbrella. Okay, but yes, you're totally right. Soft skills are amazingly important. If you ask which one of those 5 here people kind of forget most, that's a sharing point. A lot of developers think that sharing is not important. Okay, got this, wrote it down. No, just one point here. So you guys wrote it down because that was for you. All right? Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
It's the heart of dealing with someone difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we have to deal with the people that are not very easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost like an art to deal with those people. To show them our point of view.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very hard to show our point of view.
Yeah.
Sometimes
this okay, wait. That's mistake. You see that's mistake number 1? Again, I like to point this out. That's mistake number 1 again. It's very hard to show my point of view. No one cares about your point of view. Sorry about that. No one cares about it. People are not interested about your point of view. That's mistake number 1 we made. We think that we are important, that our point of view is important. It's the other way around. You have to understand where the other person is coming from. You have to understand what's the real problem. And I totally get it. Yes, there's a lot of things here under communication.
That's soft skills, and sometimes you are in a position where you need to keep that person motivated, even if it's not about your opinion or your point of view. But again, it's a very, very big topic.
Yes.
That you are including all inside share, but
oh yeah, no.
It will eventually make sense for me.
Each one of those is a very big topic. The reason why you guys are kind of picking on this is what I'm going to say next, right? So you two got this, right? You got to do software. You got to do those 5 things here every day in any way you can. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Any way you can, you got to do this to build your developer brain. Okay? So once you do this for 2 to 3 years, or maybe just 1 year if you go very deep into this, right? Then you become a professional developer. And that's when the other things start happening, right? That's when usually you got all those 4 points here right, and you're missing this. Because most of the developers, they don't care about sharing, they don't care about soft skills, they don't care about understanding what other people want.
They become cocky.
They become what?
Cocky. They think too much about themselves.
They become, yes, they kind of think too much about themselves. Yes. And then what happens is that they spend 5, 10, sometimes 30 years trying to improve their careers, and they get stuck. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea how to change. They have no idea how to improve. And that is a situation that might be happening with the most of you guys here, right? That you're seeing some kind of problems in your career, you don't know where exactly to find that. So let me tell you how your career should be working all the time. You should get yourself into a positive cycle, right? That is the question. Great developers work on great projects, or great projects build great developers. It doesn't matter where you start, right? In Brazil, say Doesn't matter which one is the chicken or the egg. Which came first, the chicken or the egg. Doesn't matter. The thing is, once you get yourself into this positive feedback loop, that's when things get interesting, because that's when, because you are a great developer, you get to work on great projects. And because you're working on great projects, you become a better developer. And that cycle has to continue as much as possible during your whole life, right? Does it mean you have to change companies every 6 months? No. It means that you have to be growing as a developer all the time. That means you have to be working on interesting projects that you're learning new things, project where you're not the smartest person in the room, project where they're challenging for you.
That's everybody does that, but there is not enough room for everyone to be in that.
That is a good point. There is a good point. Yes, there is. I'm gonna get to this in a minute. So, but every time we talk about becoming a great developer, there is this question of, well, but if we are all great developers, then there's not enough room in the top for all of us, right? And the truth is, yes, there's a lot of room in the top. A lot of room in the top. We are so small. Software developers, we are 1/4 of 1% of the worldwide population. We are a tiny little drop in the ocean. There's space for all of us. Software development is an amazing, limitless field. There's a lot of cool things that could be happening. There's a lot of cool things. So yes, there is room for all of us. First things first, right? If I say, for example, soccer or football, right? We prefer the word, right? Football.
You are jealous right now. Are you jealous right now?
What happened? I don't know.
You don't have the best soccer player.
Oh, yes, that's okay. That is my point, right? Is there just one best soccer player in the world?
Of course.
Come on, right? Of course we like to point just one, right? But no, let's change the question a little bit. Is there just one successful soccer player in the world?
It's not even the best paid one.
You see? So I mean, there's not only one best soccer player in the world, right? There's not just one best athlete in the world, right? And there's not just one best developer in the world either. There's room for everyone. That's first things first.
Yeah, I was saying that in the context of a company. Let's face it, not every project is nice or make you a good developer. And in that specific project, there is not enough room for everyone at the company to jump in, right?
No, there is. There is.
So you need to juggle it a bit, right?
You need to make sure that, of course, we're not saying that absolutely everything that you do in the project is great, right? Nor we're saying that you can never spend one day without doing something challenging. That's not the point. Is that what is your trajectory? What's going on in your career in general, right? Yes, I'm stuck 3 months working on this bad thing here because we need to get this thing done, right? That's one thing. I've been working 10 years and never anything happened. It's a completely different thing, right? And yes, you can, if you improve as a developer, you can be part of more important things in the project, even in a small company, even in a company where there's just one project, for example, right? There's a lot of things you can do. Now, but you're right. Now, the one thing is, there's room in the top for everyone. The second thing is, very few people are trying to reach the top. It's amazing.
It requires work. It requires work.
It requires work. But everyone, there's a lot of people saying exactly what someone was saying. Oh, there's not enough room for everyone at the top, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not gonna do the sacrifice. Actually, I recorded a video yesterday talking about sacrifice, right? There's not enough. I'm not gonna do the sacrifice that I need to do to be one of the top guys in the world. And because because we're a tiny little percent of the population, and there is room in the top for everyone, and a lot of people don't want to reach the top, there's even more room, right? So I think you guys should work and get a lot of room to talk.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So with that, right now, what happens when you're past this first 3 years, and now you've done enough projects, you've worked on the important things as a developer, and now you're growing up. I mean, you are involved in all kinds of things in your company and blah, 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 and you want to improve your career, right? What is the thing what is for everyone else? Well, if you might have a specific situation, there's a lot of people. So let me tell you this, you should be growing your career. That's a fact. You should be growing your career, right? There's no reason for you not to. I'm going to talk a few things here. But if you feel you're stuck, and you should have a better career than you have right now, and nothing the thing that I mentioned here helps you out. Probably there's something that you just don't realize, right? So
it may be a conscious decision where you don't want to try your way of life.
It could be a lot of different things, but if nothing that I say here, if you feel you're stuck, nothing that I say here helps, right? My suggestion to you is schedule a conversation with me, okay? Because once I listen to your particular situation, we can figure out what is that you need to do. Make sense, right? But let's talk about the things that I think are the most important ones. And yes, you're right. It could be, it could be that you don't understand some things. It could be that you're doing something wrong. It could be that you don't want to. Right. There's a lot of things. I see this all the time. You get someone, you discuss with someone, and you help them have it very clear what they want. You create a path. Okay, so now for you to get this, you just do those things right here. You create the path, and the person agrees. Yes, that's excellent. That's exactly what I need. That is the path I need to take, right? And then he doesn't take it. And then he says, "Well, thinking a little bit better, I don't have the time." Well, so or I'm not willing to do the effort to actually make it happen. That happens all the time. It's not. It would be great that just because you know the path, you could just walk it, right? But a lot of people know the path. And you laid it out. You help them create their own path, and they still say, "I don't have the time."
It's sometimes worse, because then you don't have you cannot relax. Because you know that there is something you could be doing. Before you can just say, well, there's no way I can stay relaxed and quiet doing what
That's
I do.
right.
And if you show them, well, you could do this and that and the other thing, well, now it's my conscious decision not to do it.
Right. Yes, so if you're afraid of that, if you're afraid of that particular situation, don't schedule a conversation with me. Right? Because the conversation with me will get you thinking about your future, and will get you in a position where if you don't do anything, you will know that you're not doing it. Right? Okay. So, but if you want to do things, schedule a conversation with me because it makes a big difference. But let's talk about a few things. Okay. So let me talk about number one, biggest mistake that people make that prevents them from improving their career is not having a focus. Let me write in the positive way, right? So later at least you have, okay, first thing you need to do to get your career right is have a focus, right? we've done a workshop today on Mercedes-Benz, right? We've done this part with Mercedes-Benz, right? So the first thing. Did you do your phrase? Yes. So I can use it as an example. All right, good. Okay. So having a focus is extremely important. No one is interested in a jack of all trades, master of none. Right? You can't be a generalist. If you are a generalist, you have to be specialized in being a generalist. Make sense? You know, if you are very good at getting anything, learning it, solving the problem, and delivering it, it's an amazing skill. You're not a generalist, you're a specialist in solving problems. That's good. Right? So you have to understand what is the thing that you want to be focused on. Right? So find your focus. It's very important that you find your focus. All right. So instead of talking about why it's important to find your focus, we're gonna find your focus, right? So that's the time that you need a pen and paper, and we're gonna do that's a phrase I call the celebrity statement. I learned from a guy called Ted McGrath, and it's the best tool that I ever found until now to find your focus. Okay? So I want you to write down. Yes, it makes it important. It's very important. If you don't write down, so that's one important thing. We talk about brains, right? Do you know how long it takes for your brain for you to say, hey, that's great, I want to do this, and your brain to start saying, no, you shouldn't do it? Remember that our brains don't want to change? Remember that? So our brains sabotage us all the time. So it takes 5 seconds for your brain to start saying, don't do it, it's not worth. So what you need to do in those 5 seconds? You need to write down. You need to take a physical action. You need to write down and say, you know, it could be anything. You could say, schedule a time in your calendar next week to think about that. Or it could just, you know, or could write down like he's doing, right? Write things down, say, I'm gonna do this. Kind of put a circle around you, what you're doing. Write it down. Make sure that you're doing an active, physical action. Okay, so it's very simple. I help people do this. That's the phrase you gotta write down, and you can put the crochet, the crochets like I'm doing here. Do this so they can have that. Okay? I help people do this so they can have that. The same phrase could be so they can become. You can have or become. You can become that. Okay? I help people do this so they can have or they can become that. Simple enough? I call this the celebrity statement, because that is a simple statement that will help you to turn yourself into a developer celebrity. What is a developer celebrity? Someone that have the opportunity to work on the best project with the best teams. And once you get the opportunity to work on the best project, the best teams, be it inside the company or anywhere else you want, that will get you on the positive life cycle that will get your career into the stratosphere. Make sense? So how we work this? I'm going to give you my example. So, okay, so people, this and that are the placeholders, right? You have to fill out for you, for your own phrase, okay? So, let me explain to you what each one of these is, and I'm going to use my phrase as an example, and I want you to do your phrase right now. When I'm talking about it, I'm going to ask several questions now, and I want you to answer those questions for yourself. All right? So people is the people that you want to be friends with. people that you want in your life circle, people that you want to be your, to go out with, you want to work with, you want to be in the same projects they are, you want to be their you want them to be your customers, you want them, you want to be their customers, right? You want to have relationships, either business, professional, or even personal relationships with people. Those are the people you want near you. So, for example, my phrase, I help professional Java developers, right? Those are the people that I want. They are my best friends. I've been working with them for years and years and years. I've been helping them grow their career. I travel with them. I go to events with them. I work with projects with them. Professional Java developers are my customers. Professional Java developers I'm customers. I'm a customer of other professional Java developers. Make sense? Right? So those are my friends. I want to be part of this group, if you will. Make sense? That is what people want. Remember, no one cares about you. Remember that? No one cares about you, man. No one cares about you. Neither you, nor you. If people don't care about you, they care about how you can help them get what they want. That's that. That is what they want. So it's not about you. It's not about you trying to give your point of view to anyone. It's about you understanding what it is that they want. And once you understand what it is that they want, you're going to help them get what they want. Quick story. It's 1995. February of 1995. I'm a teenager that I've been working since my second month at university. I love to work. My dad is totally against me working. So he insists for me to stop working. And I do for some time. But one day we are discussing, I'm visiting him, and I tell him, Dad, this whole thing about not working is not working for me. I really need to work. I understand his point. He was an engineer, and he didn't graduate on time, so he had a lot of problems because he couldn't be a professional without the papers and everything. So he didn't want the same thing happen to me, and I understand him. I really do. But for me, I really wanted to work. And I told him, I'm going to go back to work. And he's like, no, come on, Bruno, you shouldn't do this. You don't need that. I said, no, but I will. And then, no, you don't. You want. Oh, you want. You know how that things go, right? Very soon we were fighting. Badly.
Deaf conversation. Deaf conversation. People that doesn't listen.
Deaf conversation, right? So very soon we were fighting. When you're dealing with someone that's deaf, you yell louder and louder, right? So we were yelling at each other. I went home and I slammed the door in his face. I was pissed off. He was pissed off with me, really mad. In the middle of that discussion, the phone rings. And the voice on the other side says, Bruno, Newton Gadgets from Sun Microsystems is looking for a trainee. And if you want, the position is yours. That's my friends that I share an apartment with in São Paulo. At that moment, my dad, he sat down with me and on his computer, helping me write my first resume. My dad was able to put aside what he wanted to help me get what I wanted. I joined Sun in March of 1995. That week, the first public demonstration of Java happened. Had my father not helped me in that moment, there might be no Java man today. So, I've learned that since the very beginning of my career, that it's much more important that we help other people get what they want. Because once we help them get what they want, that's what makes our career grow. I've learned that from my dad, and he has died more than 10 years ago. But until today, I work everything that I can, and I decided to not do a lot of things. Right now I'm traveling and extending my trip, right? To come here talking with you guys. My wife's not very happy right now, right? That I'm extending the trip. It was supposed to be a 2-day trip, not a 2-week trip, right? But I'm doing this because I want to help you guys. That is my objective in life, right? Now, once you help people get what they want, you can get what you want. So once you find who people is, you have to find what is it they want. So that's my question to you. Now that you wrote down, who are the people that you want to be friends with? Who are the people you want to be close to? Now write it down. Forget about you. Forget about what you know. Forget about what you do. What is that people want? Write it down.
I have a good question.
Okay.
Is the people that want, like, can they be the customers of your company?
Can they? Yeah.
Or are they the people that work with you? Because
Now it can be, if for example,
it can be hard to say that your customers are the people that you want to be friends with.
I understand, but but you want them to be your customers, right?
Yeah.
So that's a relationship. It could be,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of relationships, right? So if you want to, so for example, if you want to help your customers, right? If that's that they want, they should have more customers of their own, for example, right? So you're helping them get more customers, right? So that's a valid thing. Okay? You got that? Now you have a debt. Who does not have a debt yet?
I don't have a people.
What?
I don't have a people.
We don't have people yet. So if you don't have people, so just choose one right now. Choose one so we can get started, right? So choose one. Right? So, one important thing. People is people, okay? It's not companies. It's not groups. It's people. Okay? Yes, it's not like I help develop teams. No, I help the manager of a team. Okay? I help startups. No, you can help a CEO of a startup. Make sense? All right. Okay, so now you have people, you have that. That is what they want. So now what's missing is what you do. That's you. This is you. This is what you do. It's the thing that sets you apart. It's the thing that you know most. It's the thing that you want to know most. And that works even for you that just starting. Because even if you're at university, you can always help your fellow students to learn Java, for example, so they can get the best grades in school, right? Even that is totally possible. So now, what is it you do? What is the thing that you are the master of? What is the thing that you want to be the master of? Now let's think about what does that mean. Because a lot of times people just kind of put things that they think is their big thing here. Sometimes it's not. Let's think about how you can find that thing up. So look at your past right now. Think of everything that you've done in the last few years. Think of the things that you do even when no one asks you to do. That you do when no one's paying you for it. Think the thing that you really like to do. Think the thing that you would do it, even if it was for free, you would do it. Right? If you have something that you would do, even if it was for free, that's probably your diss. Right? That's probably your diss. So just a quick, I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but you can do this with 4 things, but I'm just going to do 3. Those are the most important ones. All right, that's your life here. Your life, you have things that you are very good at, right? Things that you're good at. there are things that you like to do, right? And there are things that the market values, and you can get a lot of money for it, right? Now, the intersections here are, if there's something that you're very good at, the market pays you lots of money, but you don't like, that's a job, right? That's something you do because someone's paying you to do it. Make sense? I had a very good friend that he studied civil engineering, but he became a trader in a bank. He hated it. You know, he hated it. But he told me, there's nothing that I can do in my life that's going to make more money than I do this. So I hate it, but I'm going to do it because it makes me a lot of money. That's okay. You know, that's up to you. You decide. Okay? So if it's something that the markets, that you're very good at and you like it, but no one pays you money for it, that's a hobby. Very good. That's a hobby. Right? It's something that's, you know, maybe you like to paint. In the market.
You can just like it. You don't have to be good at it.
Oh yes, that's really true. No, yeah, of course, there are things that, you know, but of course, if you like, the chance that you're going to be good at it is going to be great, right? And last, not last yet, and then there's things that you like, and the market pays a lot of money, but you're not good at. Those are dreams. Okay? This is your dream, probably. Right? Those are the things that you could work on and become good at, and maybe that's that. And if you find something that you're good at, you like to do, and the market pays a lot of money, that's a career. Okay? All right, so our objective is, when we're talking about this, our objective is to find something along here. The more in the center it has, the better. Right? If it is something that you like, you're very good at, it's a hobby for you right now, maybe you can turn it into something that the market pays you lots of money. Right? Okay, now that you're thinking about all of these, now that you're thinking, what are the things that you do? What are the things that you're very good at? What are the things that you like to do? And this is your this. Right? I've got a friend of mine that, you know, when he first did this phrasing, he wanted to, something very boring, like Java EE, something like this. And then I asked him, I said, man, are you excited about this? He said, no, I'm not. I said, so why are you doing this as your phrase? Well, because that's the reality. That's the thing I can do. And so I asked him, but what if you didn't have to think about reality right now? What's the thing that you want in most? He said, well, I would love to do artificial intelligence. I said, okay, that's great. He said, but I'm not good at it. I just like. Well, that's something the market pays a lot of money, artificial intelligence. Right? So maybe you can get good at it. And so he starts saying, artificial intelligence right here. And then after he put artificial intelligence right here, that's when he told me, for the first time he was thinking about his life. And that sounds very exciting. And then he told me that for the last 20 years, he's been studying artificial intelligence. Because that's why his master or PhD or something thesis 20 years ago. He's been studying artificial intelligence, but he doesn't think he's good at it. Right? We see this all the time. Let me ask you guys one thing. What is the thing that the fish does that's amazing? Breathes on the water. Very well. Breathes on the water. If you ask the fish If you tell the fish that that's amazing, what do you think he's going to tell you?
That's nothing.
That's nothing. That's just what I do. Right? You are the fish. You are the fish. What is your breathing underwater thing? What is the thing that you do that everyone around you finds amazing? And you don't think it's anything important. Make sense? All right. So now, who has a phrase? Okay, we're gonna just kind of see if anyone here. There's 11 people online. So if you are online and you have a phrase, you can write it down for us, and we're gonna analyze your phrase online too. All right. So what do you have, someone?
The funny one or the serious one?
Oh, the serious one. Okay. So let me tell you my phrase, just so you have an idea. Right? So I help professional developers to share what they know so they can work on the best project, the best teams. Right? That's what I do. I've been helping the top Java developers in the planet to do exactly that. You know, people that when I've met in the past, they didn't know how to share, and they learned with me how to share, and they have gone on to become Java champions. They have go on and become, you know, top industry leaders. They become, you know, directors of international companies. Right? So wow, your phrase.
Yeah. So I changed it a bit because it cannot be companies, but mine is I help company professionals to build the best possible solution so they become successful.
Okay.
So that's I worked in Java for a long time, and nowadays my main job is it's more try to fix problems or solve the client problems.
Okay. Wait, 1 second. If you have to explain your phrase, that is a problem. So let's go back to your phrase. You help company professionals to
build the best possible solutions.
build the best possible solutions so they
fix their problems, so they can become successful.
All right. So that's a good start, but company professionals, very generic. Very generic. So do you help, let's say, the cleaning lady of the company? She's a company professional. Do you help the HR manager of the company? He's a company professional. Do you help the CEO, CIO of the company? You know, which one of those people you help? Right? So company professionals, very generic. Developers love to put generic things because we think, well, if it's generic, I can attract a lot of people. That's not true. The more people you attract, the less people you actually have. Right? So be specific. What kind of professional? So now, that's what the problem. Actually, we have exactly the same problem this afternoon. When you go very generic here, what happens? You go very generic here. Right? Because since you're talking with everyone, so you say, I help developers. If you help developers, they need so many different things that you can't help anyone. Right? So you go generic here, you go generic here, and then once you go generic here, you have to go generic here, and your phrase is meaningless. Because you say, I help generic people to become successful, now to do things better so they are successful. You know, that is very generic. Anyone can be this, right? So you have to be more specific. Work better on your phrase. Work better who are people for you. Okay? Who else? I'm going to come back to you. Work on it. Who else? Who else? Come on.
It's not that easy.
It's not easy. All right. So okay. So if you haven't done yet, let me kind of repeat things here. Okay. First things first. People, just write down the people that you want to be friends with. If you don't have any other criteria, be friends with is a good thing, right? If you don't have any other criteria, just write people that you want to be friends with, right? Okay, so just write it down right now. It's better that you do. Remember that when I told you at the beginning that the whole idea is have skills. Any skills, we only get skills once we do. If you don't do a phrase right now, you're not gonna do one later today. You're doing a phrase right now. That's a workshop. We're doing a phrase right now because we are here together. If you don't do a phrase right now, what is the chance that you're gonna do a phrase when you're alone in your house? It's zero. It's not gonna happen. So just do one, whatever it is. Even if it's terrible, it's better than you do here. I'll tell you that's terrible, and you'll improve, right? Yes. So do your phrase, right? So choose someone right now. Choose someone very specific. Choose a friend of yours. I want more friends like him. Right? Be very specific. Who is him? Okay? Then, once you find who is that person is, what is that he wants? What is the thing that he wants? It's not about you. You don't have to think about what you want. Just think about what he wants. And then, just add whatever you want on the disk, and we're going to fix the rest. Okay, you have one. Go ahead.
I help software developers debugging.
Really?
Debugging.
Instead of talking from, yes, just
Do
read.
debugging so they can understand their problem.
Okay, all right. So I help software developers to do debugging so they can understand their problem. So, software developers, it's good. It's much better than company professionals, right? But it's still too generic, right? Because it's different. For example, if you help, if you help a Java developer, it's different than you help any developer. If you help a professional developer, it's different than you help someone that's just a starter, right? So it's best that you have more specific, right? So, but let's go with developer right now. Unless you have already.
It can be Java developers.
Java developers. Okay. So I help Java developers, right? I like when you say either professional or novice, but let's say I help Java developers to do debugging. That's not bad, right? But debugging is very generic, also, right? Maybe it's almost meaningless. But let's try to find something else, right? Okay. So they can
understand their problem.
Understand their problem. That is also generic, right? So what Java developers want in terms of, okay, so now you have, so let's work with this together so everyone can see how you work, right? Now you have Java developers. What do Java developers want? They want to solve problems.
Well, I was thinking about one day people get stuck on a bug. There's something going on that they are not able to understand it easily, and they keep betting it. And eventually, maybe they ask for help for somebody to help them. And that's the problem I was talking about.
Okay, so
not the generic.
Not very good, right? So now they explain it's even better. So now think about it. If someone is stuck, right, and is trying to solve a problem for several days and can't solve a problem, what is that they want? What is that they're looking for?
The rubber duck.
The rubber duck. Yes, what?
Insights, some glue.
No. In terms, I understand what they want to solve to get out of the situation, but what is it? What is it they think? Because, they're right now. The way you can think that they can have that is for to invert the biggest problem. So one thing that you can say is, instead of you saying so they can have that, think about what is the thing that they worry most. So someone that is stuck in a problem for a long time, what is the thing that is in their mind that they're worried most?
Losing their job.
Losing their job. That's a good one.
That's a bit drastic.
That's a bit drastic, but not only losing the job, they may feel incompetent, right? They may feel that they feel an imposter. That's a very, very real thing for development, imposter syndrome. They may feel they are imposter, right? So you know, so this is more concrete, right? If you say something like this, it's more concrete. So they can, you know, they can be, you know, they cannot become an imposter. It's kind of weird here, but you know, this is a little bit more concrete than just solve a problem. Have confidence. That's better, right? So they can have confidence in their problem-solving skills, for example, right? That's better, you know. So they can have confidence in working on the most interesting project in the company, for example, right? So that's better because that's something people want. They want to work in the most interesting parts, right? So they want to have confidence when doing their job. So that is something they want. So they can become a confident developer. That's better, right? So, you know, I help Java developers, professional Java developers, to do something so they can become more competent developer, or they can have more confidence. They can become a confident developer, right? So now, what is the thing that you do? Solve problems, right? So now, so no, debugging. What is debugging? Debugging is a part of what? Developing. See, yes, but you know, it's a part of solving problems, right? So when you list the five things, solving problems is like the debugging part, right? So debugging. So when you do debugging, you have a specific mindset to actually go out and go find a problem, right? And a lot of people don't have that. I deal with this every week. You know, developers that call me and say, Bruno, X is not working. And I say, what's not working? Oh, I don't know, it's just not working. You've seen that, right? And then what you do? You say, well, tell me the error message. The other day I said, you know, so tell me the error message. Which error message? Well, where are you looking at, right? Oh, it's just it's not loading anything. I said, is there an error message in the browser? Yes. What is? Oh, certified has expired. Good. So why do you need to call me? You're right. I didn't need to call you. That's a problem. You know, people don't know how to find problems, right? How would we say this in a nice way? No. I help Java developers to debug and find debug problems and find solutions, for example, maybe, right? Just kind of be more clear, so they can become a confident developer. That's not bad. Okay. So now you can launch, for example, you could totally launch a website saying, you know, that you are the beaconfidentdeveloper.com website. Seriously. Now, if you create a blog, I can guarantee you, if you create a blog of beaconfidentdeveloper.com blog, right? And you start talking about heuristics and strategies of solving problems for developers, man, who would want to access this? Right? You know? That is adjusting a little bit, that is a totally celebrity phrase right there.
Yeah, but you're changing a little bit to teaching software developers to do those things.
Yeah.
And is there an option of doing those things for them?
Oh, do it for them.
Yeah.
That's good too, right? So you know, so if that's a different strategy, right? So if you say, for example, I help, you know, project managers.
Dial a debugger. You can order a debugger.
Yes, I help project managers or developers to solve their debugging problems, for example, or to, you know, by debugging their code for them or something like this, so they have peace of mind and go home with everything solved or something like that. That could work too. Yes, right. You know, that would be more like a business case than a blog post, right? Because now you're looking for someone that would be able to like hire a debugger, you know, hire a debugger.com, for example, right? Dial a debugger, right? That's almost a business case right there. It works. Yes, it definitely works. Assuming there is enough developers out there trying to find someone that will do this for them. That's a different thing. right? When we say things, we say that you have to be specific enough to attract the right people to come to you, but also you have to be generic enough because it doesn't help you for you to attract one person. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Who else wants a phrase? Fix yours.
I wrote the phrase.
You have a phrase? Come on. Go ahead.
How professional traders do cryptocurrency trading by using trading rules that I developed, so they can spend less time trading with more accuracy.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need to be very specific about I develop anything like this, but I help traders to repeat the second meter part. Just the core of it.
Cryptocurrency trading by using robots.
Okay, I help traders, right, to do cryptocurrency trading using intelligent robots, for example, or smart algorithms or something like this, so they can
spend less time trading with more accuracy.
Yes, that's good. That's really good. So now that you have like this, you can say, some of those things, let me tell you one thing. Some of those things, I don't know if traders want to spend less time trading, right? Maybe they want, I doubt traders are worried about time. They're worried about money, right? So for traders, I would probably say so they can make more money somehow. Add money in this thing, right? So
accuracy is important.
Yeah, so they can make more money. They can be more accurate and make more money out of their trading, for example, right? So I would totally say no traders wants just to be more accurate or less time. If they spend less time, they're more accurate, but they lose money, they don't want your product, right? So I think you have to say somewhere that they're gonna make more money, right? Because that's what they want. Traders want more money, right? So, but yes, now look at this. Now that he has this, what do you think if he did, for example, a Facebook presentation? BeAConfidentDeveloper.com is available. Rodrigo is saying in the chat. So you say, for example, if you put a Facebook ad that says, 3 mistakes home traders. Okay, that's one thing. Traders, it's maybe kind of generic. It's too generic. Maybe you can say home traders or weekend traders or what is exactly that people consider themselves? Who are you really going to help? Are you going to help like the professional trader on a big company, or are you going to help the home trader that's going to do the small trading? Those things are important. You have to be more specific. But if you say, for example, 3 mistakes home traders make while trading cryptocurrency that will guarantee they're losing money. Do you think a trader would click on this ad? A home trader? They would, right? Because that's exactly what they're doing. If there is any tip that they can get, they're gonna make them not lose money. That's what they want to do, right? So now you have something that you're attracting traders to come. So here how it works. You get something that is attracting traders for you, right? Now you have 2, 5, 10 traders that access become a confidentdeveloper.com website, right? Or they come to your blog post, or they see you on Twitter. You have a small amount of people that came to you. So now you can ask them, say, look, you're trading, you're a home trader, for example, right? You're a home trader, and what other things are you worried about? Remember the listening part? What other things are you worried about? I really want to help you in my blog. I really want to help you make as much money as you can. What other things are you worried about? And then, the person might say, look, I'm not sure if I trust the cryptocurrencies. I think I should, kind of create a more diverse things, right? So now well, maybe I should write a blog post about, the different cryptocurrencies and which one is more interesting, for example. And then you start this feedback, right? You got feedback from people that came to you. You use that feedback to create more content to attract more people that come to you. Make sense? What's your phrase? Yes, you have one. I want to go back to no one's raising their hand. So who wants? There's one in the back. So you look at yours. I'm going to go to the guy in the back.
So I help product manager, integration manager, so that then we can IoT devices.
So you help project manage do what?
Making integration managers, so that they can integrate different IoT devices.
Okay. All right. So I would not say project managers. Again, it's very specific and it's very generic, right? But I would say project managers or integration managers on IoT projects, for example, right? Because then you kind of get the guys that you have. The problem that I have with doing integration managers, maybe that's not that's a software you do. Is that what you do? Okay, so you do a framework. Well, okay, so maybe that does make sense, right? And so yes, I think if what they want now, the thing is they want. Why would they use the integration manager framework?
Okay,
What they gain out of it?
So because different devices have different APIs.
Mm-hmm.
So it deals with the APIs and calls that mix from the mobile application.
Mm-hmm.
That managers would handshake with the API of the manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
so that there will be good communication between the manufacturers and the product.
Right, but what do they gain by using this?
So they gain.
What? Okay, so let me ask. Let me kind of flip this question a little bit. What is a integration manager on an IoT project? What is the thing that he's more worried about that your framework solves?
So it is like an SDK.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put it in an SDK.
Mm-hmm.
So it is only one. So there will be lots of manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
but there will be only one applications. So they have to go with each managers to call an API of the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
So the manager is different with different manufacturers. So what I do is make different managers for different manufacturers.
Okay, so basically the benefit they get is that now they can talk with all vendors, device of all vendors without having to rewrite the application, right? So that is more powerful, I think. So now they can integrate multiple vendors into the same solution, something like this. Yes. Okay. So I would go to more instead of you repeating the manager thing, get the concrete benefit that they have, right? The whole idea is to be very concrete. The more concrete you can be, the better, right? So if connecting to different vendors, right? If there was a thing, the guy could hold in their hand, right? So they can really have like the master connection to all the devices, for example. So make it very concrete. The more concrete it is, the better, because then it really resonates with what people want. Make sense? Anyone else? Just okay. I told I was gonna do yours. Yeah, I promised you. Okay, come on, go.
I help programmers do some Java programming so they can have a Java career.
Okay. All right. So I help programmers to learn Java programming so they can have a career, right?
A Java career.
A Java career, right?
They already have a Java career.
Right, because you're talking about people that don't know Java. They're already programmers and they don't know Java yet, right? Okay. So having a Java career, it's not something that people want, right? They're not thinking, oh, I really want to be a Java developer. They might think, I want to get there's so many cool opportunities for Java. I would like to be able to get one of those opportunities, right? So, think about the more concrete thing. For example, what do a non-Java programmer want, right? He wants to, he might want to learn Java because he wants to benefit from some potential opportunity, right? So what is that Java brings to this guy? So, you can say, for example, I help programmers to learn Java, right? And just learn Java could be a little bit better, but that's okay. To learn Java so they can apply, so they can get a high-paying job, in the markets in the next 2 months. Getting a high-paying job is the reason why people would want to work with Java. Having a Java career, it's too generic and too dreamlike, right? You have to be more specific, to get a high-paying job in the next 3 months.
So they can fulfill the requisites of their company in the next contract.
Okay, could be too. Yes, that could be true. Yes, be very specific, be concrete. Be something that they know. It's like my example is like this. Let's say that getting. Well, actually, I turned this thing on here, but didn't press record, so just turn it off. All right. So let's say that this is a Java job, right? If you say, I help developers to learn Java so they can get a Java job, right? They can get it. They can hold in their hands, right? Having a Java career is like, it's not something they can hold in their hands. You see what I mean? Try to be concrete, as concrete as you can.
Yeah, I think it's a bit still generic, but maybe you can help with that. Change it a bit. It's help product owners to build the best possible solutions, that is, as I said, so they can have more clients. So having more clients, I think, is very specific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Product owners, it's not in a specific field on purpose because I work in a service company. So that's what I like. I love being able to work on multiple verticals.
Mm-hmm.
And as they do build the best possible solutions, is that because I want them to come and talk with us because we can make something that they were not able to do before.
Okay, so let's okay. So product owners. So you are a service company and you want to work with as many product owners as you can. But do what kind of product? What is your best customers? What kind of product owners do you work with? Any industry, maybe in any area, in anything?
Maybe fintech.
Fintech, that's much better. So I help fintech product owners, right? So what do a product owner want? So my question to you is, do product owners really want more customers? Is that what they want?
In the case we are working with, yes. So they are building a product, they are putting on the market. Mm-hmm. So they are looking for new clients at the moment. They are mostly working in the United States, with United States banks, mm-hmm. Not that much at the moment. They want to grow the client base, so that's what they are looking for.
Okay, so I if you're saying so, I'll believe you, right? But I would question if the product owner is the guy that's working for more customers, right? Maybe he wants to get his first customers.
Maybe it's not the product owner goal. It's maybe the goal of the CEO, but right. We don't work with the CEO. We work with the product owner. Right?
That's okay, but so if the product owner, so I'll tell just the thing that you just said, right? I help product owners to do better solution. I think that part's too generic, but that's okay. Let's keep with that. To reach their CEO's goals. That's okay. That's better because that's something that he really wants. Getting more customers is not something that is his main thing. He doesn't go late at night saying, "Oh man, we're not gonna have customers enough." He's probably going late at night saying, "Oh man, my CEOs it's really pushing me to do this and I'm not finishing." Right? So you have to think about what is it they really want, really, really want.
Basically, if you believe in your solution, it's not only the CEO that wants to.
I understand, but different people, I'm saying different people have. I totally get. For example, you could say to every Java developer that you are doing an application to have more customers, right? You can say that to a developer, but who which developer really lays down at night and thinks, oh man, our company doesn't have enough customers. We don't care about this. We never care about this, right? I think we should, but we never do. So it doesn't help for you to say the things that they should care. Talk about the things they do care.
I honestly believe that most of us do care.
Okay, all right.
No, because the company grows with you and you grow with the company. So it's in everyone's interest if that happens.
Right.
That's a rational.
That's a very, I agree with you. It's a very rational thing. It's not what they're worried about. It's definitely not what developers are worried about. Yes. The thing is, you have to think about what is it they really want. And a lot of times what they really want, so my question to you is, ask this, not my question, but one thing it can help you with is ask for what? A few, or why a few times, right? So you say, for example, so they can have more customers. Why? Or for what? Okay, they have more customers. For what?
Making more
Make more money. For what?
to buy a Ferrari. I don't know.
To buy a Ferrari. Okay, right. So I don't think that is the right solution, right? So, but if you say, for example, I work with customer relationship, whatever you said, right? It was, what was it? The people?
The product owner.
Product owners. I work with product owners, so they get to buy the Ferraris. I think that's more what they want than customers.
Yeah.
So that is. We're not going to solve all the questions about your statement right now.
You could say that so you can sleep at night without worrying about the next day in the job. That would be also more specific.
Yeah, but that's not normally what people.
But that's
people probably
generic.
yes. People were probably worried. People that are worried about losing their jobs are probably worried about people that are in a convoluted kind of organization, not someone that's right. Okay, so one more here, so you can, and then I can explain why we're doing this, right? Because that's you're doing this and like, what the hell this guy's going with this, right?
Okay, so I'll do with I help Java developers
Uh-huh.
to write simple and memory efficient applications so they can build faster applications.
Okay, that's not bad. Fast application is something that everyone wants, right? Or a lot of developers do care about this, right? And so in memory efficient things, that's the thing that you want, right? That's the thing that you focus on, right? So if you create some if you start creating your blog, for example, about this topic, right? Then you're gonna attract to you everyone that wants to write more performance conscious application, for example. I think we can tweak a little bit the words because you're kind of repeating some things there, but this is good. Because that's what you want, right? You want to attract to you people that are interested in performance in their applications, right? So once you attract those people, you can go deeper with them in that discussion. And I like that, because I know what you do. I like that you go very specific on what you do, and that's good, right? Because now you can be, the memory specialist in the planet, right? And you say, oh, come on, there is no such thing. Yes, there is. There are Java champions right there. So I always like to mention Kirk Pepperdine. That's a good example about focus and being in understand. People think about focus. They think about, well, if I talk about my focus, I can't learn other things. So one example, Kirk Pepperdine is one of the most. He's a Java champion. He's very famous worldwide for being a performance specialist, right? So Kirk knows a lot of things about Java. He's one of the most vocal Java champions. He discusses about everything about Java, but he's known worldwide as a performance specialist, right? That's why he gets a lot of jobs, a lot of projects around performance because he's known as a performance specialist. That's the same thing, right? If you want to become a memory specialist, right? Or you know, something related to that. Well, Azul built their whole business by being a memory specialist, right? So yes, you can totally do that. Make sense? All right. So let's just kind of get this really quick here before Samuel kicks me out of here, right? Because Samuel's already closed his laptop. People are kind of like, wasn't supposed to be until 9? I know. Yes. All right. So why are you doing this? Why are we doing this? Remember that finding your focus is probably the one thing that will make a huge difference for you to your career. Once you know your focus, and you can very clearly, like we said here in these examples, you can very clearly articulate that to everyone around you. First of all, you're articulating that for yourself, right? Because if you don't have a very clear focus, you don't know what is it you need to talk about, right? But you're also articulating to everyone around you. Why would anyone, for example, go to a talk that you have? Or why would anyone follow you on Twitter? Or why would anyone read your blog? The reason why people do those things is because they look at your blog, they look at your presentation, they say, hey, that is for me. I want to see this because I have that problem. And I want to work with that. I want to solve that problem that I have, right? I want a better developer career. I want to get a high-paying job. So this guy's going to help me have a high-paying job. So now that you have that, that you have your focus, you're able to clearly articulate. Now you can start sharing, because the whole objective here is that we need to share. Remember the sharing part? We need to share. But share what? What are we going to share? If we don't have a focus, we don't know what to share. Now that you have a focus, you know exactly what you're going to share, right? You know, you're going to become a confident developer again, right? He's going to be, you know, the managing memory in the right way guy. He's going to be, you know, the get more money for traders guy, right? You know, you're going to be the get your developer career in shape guy or something like this, right? You know, because now you know exactly what it is that you're going to share because you decided what you want, right? So now, every time you write a blog post, every time you tweet something, every time you go to an event, right? What is the thing that you're going to share about? You know, how to get your career in shape by learning Java, how to make more money by using robots trading, right? You know, you're gonna use that for every content. What do you mean every content? There is an exercise I like to do a lot. For example, when I was coming here to this trip, right? When I flew from São Paulo to Amsterdam, I watched the movie Wonder Woman, right? So let's say I want to do one of those things that people that blog love to do, is talk about something that no one cares, right? You know, oh, the food was great on the plane, right? No, you see this on Twitter? Oh, the food I ate today. You know, hi everyone, I just arrived in Amsterdam. I'm sure you follow lots of people that are talking about all this nonsense all the time. Who cares that he just arrived in Amsterdam, right? No one cares, right? Now, but you want to do this. You want to talk about Wonder Woman, right? So that's a great movie. It was a great movie. I want to talk about it. How do I talk about it? So, for example, you know, I could write 3 things I learned watching Wonder Woman yesterday on the plane that will help you become a Java developer, right? 3 things I learned, 3 mistakes I saw Wonder Woman doing yesterday that would prevent you from being a confident developer. So now you're bringing anything around you to your focus, right? Is that possible to find? Let's try to find out, right? Let's see if you can see 3 things. Okay, when I do with my phrase, it's a lot easier because I'm attuned to that, right? But let's do your phrase, right? Becoming a confident developer, for example. 3 things I've learned on Wonder Woman yesterday that will help you become a more confident developer, right?
No spoilers.
Hmm?
No spoilers.
No, okay. I'm not going to spoil anything, right? So number one, if you don't know what you're doing, you can't be confident, right? That's. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but I'm not going to. There's no spoil. So when Wonder Woman goes out in her quest, she tries to just I know exactly what I need to do. But, oh, well, actually, that's the other way around. She was very confident from the start, right? So it's the other way around. So you say, if not knowing will bring you lots of confidence, but that's not the true thing, right? Maybe that's even better. Because she was very confident from the start, right? So, and she went doing the wrong thing, right? So, so not knowing will give you confidence, but that's a false confidence. So that is mistake number one. Mistake number two, thing number two that I learned, if you work with a diverse team of different skills, that will help you a lot, right? That's another thing. And thing number three, when you realize the mistakes you're making, correct them. Okay? That's what she does. When she finally realized that what she was pursuing is not what she thought it was, she reframes her life and do the right thing. Okay, so now I was able to talk about Wonder Woman for his blog. Right? And so what's the point of all of this? Right? The thing is, if you have a focus, right? If you have a focus, and now you are able to share your focus, right? Okay, so there's one thing that I'm skipping here. There's step number two, right? That you have to go deep. I already talked about this, so I'm kind of skipping here. Once you know your focus, that's the first things first. Once you know your focus, you can go deep in your focus. Because that's the biggest problem we have. And a lot of people trying to learn everything, trying to understand everything, because they have no idea what they're focused on. Right? And if you know that you're focused on memory, you can go very deep in this. If you know you're focused on debugging, you can go very deep in this. Right? So now you go deep. Right? So you go very deep in this. And then, because you're going deep, you can share that, right? Because now you're learning more things. And you can share even what you know right now and then go deep and share even more. So now you go on Twitter, on Facebook, on your blog, right? On presentations, whatever. You go share all of these. What's going to happen? People are going to come and start watching, right? Right? Which people will come to read your stuff?
People that feel that their needs are somewhat fulfilled by what you are saying.
Exactly, right? So whose people are those? We started this with people, right? Whose people is those? People that you want what? You want to work with, right? Those are the people you want to work with. Those are the people that have the problems that you want to solve. Those are the people that want you to be your customers, want you to be your friends. Now, what you're doing, you're increasing your network. You're increasing your network not with anyone. You're increasing your network with exactly the people that you want to work with. Exactly the people that needs the thing that you are the best guy of. Exactly the people that if they offer you a job or a product or project or whatever, those are exactly the people that you want to work with, right? More than that, if you're working on a company, for example, you're attracting customers for the company, right? And every time you do this, what happens? You become more important for all those people because finally they're listening to you. Remember you said it's hard to convince them to hear our point of view because now they're listening to you. Because they're not interested in you, they're interested in how you can help them. They can see you can help them. So now they're listening to what you have to say. And if they have to make a decision, they're going to listen to what you have to say. Because you are the specialist. while everyone else is trying to learn everything, you know exactly what you're talking about because you're going deep into your focus. And what happens? Magic happens. Because now you have around you exactly the people that you want around you. You know, you are influential to exactly the people that you want to be influential for. You're not fighting with other, you know, you're not just like one guy trying to convince whoever who knows what to do something. You're actually talking exactly to the people that need what you have. And all the time that we see it happen is that now you get a new project here, you're called to a new project there. I don't want to move companies, that's okay. You know, you start working on debugging, for example, and then suddenly you are talking to the guy that's responsible for the debug implementation of NetBeans, right? And then suddenly you are helping out to improve NetBeans. You know, I need to talk about NetBeans because I used to be the NetBeans community manager, right? So, you know, that is my idea of choice, right? So, I know. So now you're working with the guys from the NetBeans team, right? And then you're helping them out by doing something. And then suddenly you're working on a very sophisticated IDE project because that's how you started. You know, that's what he's doing, right? My focus is memory management. So now I'm talking to the guys from OpenJDK. And now I'm going to have my code committed into OpenJDK. Right? But don't do what he's doing. Because, you know, he's now going through a long process of how many suggestions have we given to OpenJDK before that one?
Well, we have to still finalize the first version
Right.
of the document, and we already have some kind of suggestions on the way.
Oh, no. Before you're doing this one, how many other before, like last year?
Oh,
So you've been there. Okay, so
iterations with them. So
I'm talking about before that idea.